Hey everybody, it's Julie again. Welcome to another edition of Flower Friday. Have a great flower in store for you today. I picked up a new die at Hobby Lobby yesterday and I am excited to show you what you can do with it. Be back soon. All right, we're all set to go here. Today we are going to be making this lovely little gem right here. This is a huge flower, huge, over 5 inches. This is something that is going to make a major statement on any of your projects that you're doing. This is something where you need a focal point. This flower is your focal point. Okay, we're going to be making it today in just a smaller size. We're going to be using this die from Sizzix. It is the flower Petal Power. Okay, and what's going to come on this die is the large size petal, the small size petal, and then this little center here. Okay, let me just give you a reference of size. The flower is almost as big as the die. Actually, it is probably as big as the die. So let's just keep that in mind that this particular size, this is the large size. I want to make that clear. This is the large size. We will be making the smaller size, and I'll do a little size comparison at the end again. The big size is as big as the die. Okay, just keep that in mind. Okay, we're going to set that aside here just for a second. So what do you need to do this flower? Well, you need the die. Picked it up at Hobby Lobby yesterday. It's normally $19.99 and I used my 40% off coupon. So I got a pretty good deal, I think. I mean, that's a decent price. Also, if you didn't know this, Sizzix.com has free shipping any size order this weekend, so check it out. So you'll need the die. It's not, I mean, I think that's a decent price. I mean, so what, $14.99 or so for that die? And I use flower dies all the time, so I know I'm going to get my money's worth. This is the small size petal. You'll want to cut out 16 of these. I've cut it out in craft paper, but we're going to do a little something different and make it a little bit red and a little bit crafty colored. Okay, and you're going to need some kind of distress ink. This one, for the big flower, I used Vintage Photo. On this one, I'm going to use Fire Brick and see how it turns out because I wanted something maybe a little bit more holiday-ish because I think that these would look outstanding as a bow on a package, especially if you're doing kind of a recycled packaging Christmas, you know, where you're using craft paper or newsprint or something like that or comics or something like that to wrap your presents in. This is going to look fabulous with it. I know it. And then for the center, I've brought out my bucket O buttons. I did make the center for this flower because I just didn't have anything that was big enough. So I used a wood bead about 3/4 of an inch in size, and then I made just a circle of pearls to go around it. But I think I can find something for this size flower in my bucket of buttons here. All right, let's get started. What you're going to do, and this is my version. You don't have to do this step if you don't want to, but since I am all about sparkly, you know I got to have a little bit of sparkle on these bad boys. So now what you can do is you can spray your paper before you die cut. But the reason I'm not doing that with these is because I want to crunch these all up in the liquid from the glimmer mist that I'm going to, or the mist that I'm going to use is going to allow me to really get a nice crunch to them. So I'm going to use my homemade glimmer here. And this is just my clear color. If you want to see how I made this, I've got a video that's not too far down in my list if you want to check it out. Basically, it's super easy to make. I make a big bulk size at once usually. In fact, let me see. I've got to make some more because the jar that I make it in is completely empty. I just refilled this little spray bottle here, so I got to make some more soon because this stuff will be gone soon. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to give these a nice good spray. A lot of spray comes out of that spray bottle, so just keep that in mind. And then I'm just going to get them wet on both sides just by smearing them around on my mat here. And then I'm going to take them, and I like to do this for this flower one by one and just scrunch it all up, give it a nice scrunch. Do that for all of the petals. This doesn't take very long, just a couple seconds to scrunch them all up. And then once we do this, we're going to have to dry them because, you know, none of us want to wait to finish a project. We don't want stuff to dry by itself. That's what we have heat guns for, right? Okay, so I'm just going to give these another good crunch, and then I'm going to take my heat gun and I'm going to dry these one by one. Since my this particular glimmer that I made has alcohol in it, it doesn't take very long for these petals to dry. So I'm just going to go ahead and do this. And if it happens to be where I think it's running a little long, I'll just fast forward the video here. Hope everybody's having a great week. It's been busy here again. I've been trying to really get my Etsy shop going, so I've been doing a lot of different things for it. I've reworded almost all of my listings so that some of the search engines will catch the titles. Maybe I can get listed a little bit higher. I never knew, honestly, never knew how much goes into maintaining and getting sales for one of those shops, because seriously, it is hard work. It takes a lot of time. I worked most of last week doing that, and this coming week, I'm going to be taking a lot of pictures, retaking a lot of pictures, because I've recently just done some research on that too as well, and I can tell how my pictures are sorely lacking what I've listed. They definitely need to be retaken and revamped, and so I'm going to be spending some time doing that next week, hopefully. This weekend, I would have done it this weekend, but my daughter's playing softball, and normally I wouldn't even be here right now. I'd be at the game, but I'm actually waiting for Jim to get off work so that he can come too. Otherwise, it would make no sense to take 2 vehicles, or 3 vehicles actually. So I just decided that I would wait for him and go to the afternoon games, because they're playing 3 today, and they won't get done until probably 6 or 7 tonight, so got plenty of time. It has gotten so warm here this week. You wouldn't believe it. 80s almost all week long. I can't believe it. For the middle, well, going into the middle of October, that's almost unheard of. And I guess it's going to last until most of next week. Toward the latter part of next week, it'll start getting back down into the 60s, and where it's getting into the 40s and maybe high 30s at night. But I'll tell you what, this weather has done wonders for the tomatoes that are left on my vines outside. I picked like 35, 40 tomatoes last week, and normally at this time of the year they would have been done because we would have had a frost by now. But I was lucky and we didn't, and I was able to get quite a few more tomatoes off my vine. I still probably have about 100 on the vine, and I'm hoping that with the weather we're supposed to have for next week, that I'll be able to get some more of those, actually be able to eat some more of those instead of them going to just being green on the vine. Okay, so now I've got all of those dried and unfolded, basically. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to take our distressing and we're going to color these leaves. And all I'm going to do is, all I really want to do is just hit the top so that the wrinkles catch a little bit of that ink. So it's not going to be fully colored. And then I'm just going to go around the edges. Okay, so I'm just kind of lightly going over the top just to hit those creases. And then I'm going to go around the edges with this as well. And then when I'm done with this, I'm going to show you how to flatten these leaves so that you can still shape them to look like a flower and they won't be all crunchy like this. This just takes a couple seconds too. You know, if you guys have any requests or anything that you would like to see, just let me know, because I would not mind doing extra videos. You know, if there's something that you think that I can show you how to do, just let me know. Send me a message or comment on one of the videos, and I'd be glad to show you. Okay. Oops, probably, that's all right. You kind of have to decide which side of the flower you want to color, I guess, because you don't have to color both sides. And that one, maybe I should have done the other side because there wasn't too many creases in that one, but that's all right. Really, you're just trying to highlight those creases and then give the outside some dimension. got a little bit more light in here. I turned on a side light today. It's like facing right on my desk here. It's a really bright halogen light. So if you guys think the lighting is better today, let me know. If you think it's worse or if you think it's the same, let me know that too, because I am trying to make it, because sometimes I think my videos are a little dark, and especially if I'm using a darker colored paper or fabric, it's kind of hard to see, I think, in my opinion. So, you know, if you guys think that it's better this way, let me know and I'll continue to do it like this. Oops. Okay, so now we've got all of these petals colored. So what are we going to do now? Well, we're going to flatten these bad boys out a little bit so that it'll be easier to shape the petals. And what you're going to need to do is you're going to need to run them back through your Big Shot or through your Cuttlebug, whatever you have. And all you're going to do with the Big Shot is you're going to take your multi-purpose platform, okay, this one, the big one, okay, and you're going to slide that in. And then you're going to take your cutting plates, which I have to find mine. I just had them. They couldn't have, here they are. Well, no, that's not them either. That's the new set. Aha, I found them. Okay, you're going to take your cutting plates and you're going to put one down. And all I do is I just take them and I just stack them up together so that they're stacked neatly. Because if you don't stack them where they're close to the same, you know, they're not overlapping each other, you are going to see a mark. You're going to see like a little crease. I noticed on some tags I did last week, I wasn't careful, and where the hole was at, the hole actually like embossed the lower portion of the tag on one of the tags that was below it. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and just arrange these in little stacks of 4 or 5, whatever you want. And then I'm going to put the top plate back on, and I'm just going to run that through, and really once is all you need. Once will flatten them out pretty good. Okay. Okay, there for a second my monitor went blank, so I just wanted to make sure I was still being recorded. Okay, so this is, you know, you start with that wrinkly, you know, flower or petal, and you come out with something that's flat, but you still see the where the wrinkles were at, because that's where the ink hit it. So I like that look. Now, if you don't like that look and you prefer it to be wrinkled, by all means, keep it that way. Because I'm not going to tell you how to make your flower. All I'm telling you is how I make mine. Okay, so now we need something for the back portion of this flower so that we have something to glue to. And I'm just going to use this 1 7/8" Paper Studio scallop punch because it happens to be what's on my desk right now. So if you have just a circle punch or you have a square punch, doesn't matter. Whatever you got. Okay. Well, come out of there. There we go. All right, so now we have our back piece. This is what we're going to put our flower on. Let me wipe this red off of here. I already got it all over my hand, so it's not like it makes a big difference, but anyway. Okay, so now you're going to take these petals, and how I shaped these, okay, was I took the tip of the flower, okay, the rounded edge, and I folded it back right in the center, okay, so that's going to create a crease that looks like that. Okay, and then I went down to the bottom and I creased it up, okay, so that gives me where it's almost like a little bowl in the middle, okay, and that just gives your flower just a little bit more dimension. So I'm going to do that on all of these here real quick. Doesn't take long and you don't need any special tools, just your fingers. I'll do 4 at a time so we can get moving on the other steps. Come on now. There we go. All right, so hot glue for this one, okay, because you need something that dries fast. I know some people, I say this all the time, aren't comfortable with using hot glue, but honestly, if you're careful, you know, it's easy to use, and it's got a strong bond and it dries quickly. And I think when you're making flowers, that's something that you need. So unless you're making a flower that's incredibly small, my suggestion is always to use hot glue. So all I'm going to do is just run along the back, just a little bead of hot glue, okay, along the curved portion where it's kind of indented. Okay, and then I'm going to place four petals, sorry, on the bottom portion of this. And if your petals aren't shaping like you want them to, then just give them a quick shape when you put them on there. You can always shape at the end too. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put two, and I'm putting them directly across from each other. And then I'm going to come back and I'm going to do that same thing again, just two of them going this way. Okay. And maybe, there we go. All right, and the bottom. All right, so now we have something that kind of looks like this. Almost looks like a tiger lily or something like that in the making. Okay, so now we're going to do our next batch of petals. I'm just going to give these guys a quick fold. Okay, and now same thing, line of glue on the bottom edge. And now we're going to alternate, and I'm going to put these petals right between the other two, but I'm going to just scoot them in just a smidge, and I'll show you that. See how I've just scooted that bottom edge just a little bit? So these petals will be just a little bit shorter than the ones prior to them. I hope that's clear for everybody. All right, do the same thing again. Always alternating the petals. It always makes you look like you have a little bit of a fuller flower. Oops. I get this question a lot, what kind of glue gun this is, and I think I said last week too, and I might just mention it for a few videos in case because new people come in and subscribe to me, every once in a while. So I like to just tell them this is an Aleene's glue gun, and it's from Michael's. I got it as a gift. It was a rack from my friend Lydia. So if you go to Michael's, they will have that glue gun still, and in my opinion, and I've used this glue gun a lot, and I've used a lot of other glue guns a lot, this is by far the best glue gun right now that's on the market. It comes with 4 alternate tips. You get the one that does the thin line, you get a thick line, and you get like a wide line, I think, and then just a regular glue tip. So honestly, best glue gun out there for the money. Okay, and now we're going to go ahead and just do our tips, or the flower petals again. Just going to shape them up. Oops, that one went the wrong way. Wait, I'm getting confused myself there for a second. Oh, I've been up since about 5:30 this morning because Haley had to leave at 6:15 this morning for softball, so I wanted to make sure that she was up and ready to go. Okay, so now this next set of petals, again, we're just moving in again so that they're shorter than the next one, and we're going to alternate these petals as well. So you still stick with the line of glue on the back of your petal, and you just alternate, okay, where the last petal was. You're putting it between the petals that were below it. This flower takes a little bit longer to make than some of the other ones that I've done recently, but it's worth it. It's really pretty. And honestly, I really think that these are going to look fabulous on Christmas presents. Absolutely fabulous. Okay, so for the last ones, we're still doing the same thing, folding them all the same way. and the last one. All right, so now we're going to do the same thing, line of glue along the edge, and these you want to get as close to the center as possible. Okay, and you're just going to glue the very edge down, same as we've been doing, so that this part of the flower really kind of pops up. Gives a lot of dimension. On the bigger one that I did, you could actually go a few more sets of petals, because like on this one, as you can see, this is really, really dimensional, really making those flowers stick up, and that center portion of the flower is fairly small. So that's how you know that you're going to have a really nicely dimensional flower. When the inside, like this one here, let's go there, there we go. Okay, see how this, where this little cup is at, is pretty small? If you look on this one, it's large. I mean, it's a good, probably almost 1.5 inches, 2 inches wide. I could have definitely put another 2 layers of petals on this flower. Okay, but this one, it's nice and small. Your center is going to fit down in there really nice. So let's go ahead and look and see what we want to do here. This is just a bunch of some vintage, but mostly plastic buttons that I picked up at Hobby Lobby. This is really pretty. I got this, I can't remember, I think I got this at Hobby Lobby. It's just a cameo. I'll probably never use it because I just think it's so pretty that I won't ever want to use it. Oh, let's see, I've got a stick pin in there. That would have been nice to stick my finger on. Okay, let's see, what do I want to put in there? It's maybe something gold, you know, because you got Christmas. Actually, that looks kind of cool in there. How about that? You know, it's not too flashy, but I think that's what I'm going to use. And before I stick that on there, I'm going to give this flower, just because, you know, I like overkill with the spray. I'm just going to give that flower just another couple hits with the glimmer. And just real quick, run the heat gun over it again. Just so it's really, 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 really sparkly. And when you're drying these, you know, if you put your glimmer on last, just lift up on the edges and your flower will maintain the shape. Okay. All right, so now, let's see, I need something to cut those. Where's my little clipper thingies? I'm going to cut the button part off the back, the shank. Okay. Never, ever cut a shank off a button like this. Okay, because if you do that, this piece comes off there like with some force, and that piece of shank can go right in your eye. So always when you're cutting something with your jewelry clippers, turn it over and catch it in your hand, because if you do it like this, I can't tell you the amount of times that I have been shot in the face with something, and just luckily it hasn't hit my eye. So keep that in mind. That's your little safety tip for the day. Okay, so now I'm just going to hot glue this right in the center. I like to give it quite a bit of glue here. I can't wait. I'm going to definitely use these on my packages this year, because I'm telling you what, people are going to be like, oh my God, that's so pretty. Okay, just giving it a good squeeze down, because there is quite a difference in height there. Okay, and then I'm just going to puff up these leaves just one last time. And then there's your finished product. Isn't that pretty? Honestly, this one is bigger than my hand, okay? And this one is about the size of my hand. Okay, so if we want to do something that, you know, this is about 3/4 the size of the die, okay? Almost just slightly bigger than than the flower that's on here. This one, the entire size of the die. Okay, so you are really going to get your money's worth with this die. It produces a very large flower. So, like I said, this is the Flower Petal Power die from Sizzix. Check it out. Get it at Hobby Lobby, because there's a 40% off coupon this weekend, and I don't know if Michael's has that die or not. If they do, use your 40% off or 50% off coupon from them. All right, everybody, have a great day, and we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.